The complex and often turbulent relationship between the British royal family and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex has long been a subject of intense global fascination, driving countless headlines and sparking endless debates across the globe. For years, the public has watched from afar as a modern fairy tale transformed into a deeply complicated narrative of duty, personal freedom, public scrutiny, and familial estrangement. Every move made by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle is analysed with microscopic precision, as commentators and royal enthusiasts alike attempt to decipher the underlying motives, the hidden tensions, and the potential for future reconciliation. The decision of the couple to step back from their roles as senior working royals and establish a new life across the Atlantic Ocean in California was a historic turning point. One that fundamentally altered the dynamics within the House of Windsor and created a profound geographical and emotional divide. Since that departure, their sporadic returns to United Kingdom soil have been fraught with logistical challenges, media frenzies, and a palpable sense of unease, reflecting the deep-seated fractures that remain unresolved behind palace walls. This ongoing saga is not merely a story of public figures navigating fame, but a deeply human drama involving a family trying to chart its own course under the most intense public spotlight imaginable. If you want to stay informed and follow every development of this unfolding story as it happens, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications so you never miss an update on these significant events. As the world watches, a new and unexpected chapter is beginning to take shape, one that promises to bring the Sussex family back to the very heart of the country they left behind, setting the stage for a journey filled with profound personal significance and immense logistical complexity. For months, speculation has reached a fever pitch regarding whether the Sussex children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, would ever return to their father's homeland given the immense security concerns and public relations obstacles that stand in the way. The narrative surrounding their potential travels has been a shifting landscape of cancellations, legal battles, and conflicting reports, leaving the global audience to wonder if a reunion with the wider royal family would ever be possible under the current circumstances. The sheer volume of media coverage dedicated to their security arrangements underscores the high stakes involved, as the Duke of Sussex has repeatedly emphasized his primary commitment to ensuring the safety and privacy of his wife and young children in an environment he perceives as inherently hostile. The memory of past media intrusions and the tragic history of the royal family's relationship with the press loom large over every decision, casting a long shadow that influences every travel itinerary and public appearance. Yet, despite the seemingly insurmountable hurdles and the initial cancellation of their travel plans due to these persistent safety anxieties, a dramatic and sudden shift in momentum has caught royal watchers completely by surprise. The intricate chess match of royal logistics and personal desires has taken a definitive turn, revealing that the Duchess of Sussex, along with young Archie and Lilibet, is indeed preparing to cross the Atlantic to touch down on British soil once again. This journey represents a momentous occasion, marking a rare and highly anticipated return that is bound to reignite intense public interest and place a renewed focus on the delicate ties that bind the family together. The sheer logistics of orchestrating such a journey in absolute secrecy, while ensuring maximum security for a young family, require an extraordinary level of planning and coordination behind the scenes, far away from the public eye. As the plane prepares to make its journey across the ocean, the atmosphere is charged with anticipation, and the world is left to ponder the true nature of this visit and what it might mean for the future of the monarchy. The underlying motives for this sudden reversal of plans remain shrouded in mystery, prompting widespread discussion about what private discussions or changing circumstances could have prompted such a significant decision. It is clear that this is no ordinary transatlantic trip, but rather a deeply calculated and emotionally heavy endeavor that carries immense weight for everyone involved, particularly for the young children who have spent the vast majority of their formative years far removed from the traditions and environments of British royalty. The contrast between their quiet private life in California and the historic, high-stakes environment of London could not be more stark, highlighting the dual realities that these young royals must navigate as they grow up. This impending arrival sets a complex scene where personal familial obligations intersect with the relentless gaze of the international media, creating a high-pressure environment where every gesture and decision will be dissected for meaning. The focus now shifts to the arrival itself, a moment that will undoubtedly be shielded from public view, but will nevertheless resonate deeply across the landscape of modern royal history, as a fractured family takes a tentative and highly private step back onto the terrain that defined their past. The logistical realities of this high-stakes transatlantic journey began to crystallize only after a series of intense legal and personal conflicts threatened to derail the trip entirely, showcasing the immense pressure under which the Duke and Duchess of Sussex operate. Initially, plans for the Duchess of Sussex, Prince Archie, and Princess Lilibet to travel to the United Kingdom were completely cancelled due to a bitter and highly public dispute surrounding their security arrangements. The Duke of Sussex had been locked in a contentious struggle to secure taxpayer-funded police protection for his family while on British soil, arguing that his private security team lacked the necessary jurisdiction and intelligence access to properly safeguard his family in an environment where threats remain persistent and severe. When this official protection was denied, an insider close to the family revealed that the Duke was absolutely distraught, feeling deeply trapped between his desire to bring his children to his homeland and his paramount duty to protect them from aggressive media pursuit and potential safety breaches. The emotional weight of this decision was compounded by a public relations nightmare regarding their accommodations, with reports surfacing that the king had initially offered his son lodging at Buckingham Palace, only to later withdraw the invitation after the offer had already been accepted, creating a profound sense of isolation and logistical confusion for the travelling family. Despite these seemingly insurmountable barriers, the situation shifted dramatically behind closed doors, leading to a quiet determination to explore every available alternative to facilitate a safe passage for the family of four. Now, it has been confirmed that the Duchess and her two young children will indeed touch down in London, though they will do so under a shroud of absolute privacy, with no intentions of making a single public appearance during their stay. This strict mandate for privacy means that the Duchess will completely bypass the highly anticipated sports event for wounded veterans that her husband is attending in the capital, choosing instead to remain entirely out of the media spotlight to prevent any unnecessary public spectacle or security complications. The decision to keep the children entirely hidden from public view underscores the deep-seated anxieties that the couple maintains regarding the British press corps, an anxiety born out of years of hostile coverage and relentless pursuit that ultimately drove them to leave the country years ago. By removing themselves completely from the public calendar, the family hopes to carve out a secure, impenetrable bubble within which they can fulfill deeply personal objectives that have nothing to do with official royal duties or public relations campaigns. The tension surrounding their arrival is palpable as the media remains on high alert, desperate for any glimpse of the young prince and princess who have been absent from the country for so long. Yet finding themselves completely blocked by an airtight security apparatus designed to guarantee absolute anonymity. This strategic choice to completely separate the private family visit from any public-facing events illustrates the sharp division that now exists between the couple's past life as working royals and their current reality as private citizens navigating an extraordinary level of global fame. And security risk. As the family prepares to navigate this complex landscape, the true purpose of their journey begins to focus on deeply intimate family matters, far removed from the grandeur of palace balconies and official state functions. The sharp contrast between the intense public curiosity and the total enforcement of private isolation creates an atmosphere of immense narrative tension, as the world knows they are on British soil but is completely barred from witnessing their movements. This careful balancing act requires flawless execution by their private security detail, who must coordinate with local authorities to ensure smooth transits without drawing the very attention they are desperately trying to avoid. Inside this protective envelope, the Duke and Duchess are prioritizing long-overdue personal milestones, driven by the realization that time is passing quickly and the windows for certain familial connections are narrowing. The primary motivation for overcoming these massive security and logistical hurdles appears to be a profound desire to honor the memory of the past while attempting to forge tentative, fragile bridges for the next generation before it is too late. The emotional stakes could not be higher for the Duke, who has spent years defending his family's right to safety, and who now takes an enormous calculated risk to bring his wife and children back to the very place that has caused him so much personal anguish. Every step of this visit is fraught with potential missteps, where a single security lapse or leaked detail could shatter the fragile peace they have worked so hard to establish for this brief journey across the ocean. As they arrive, the focus shifts entirely to the deeply private destinations on their itinerary, places that hold immense emotional weight and historical significance for the family, setting the scene for encounters that will take place entirely behind closed doors, away from the judgment and commentary of the outside world. The true heart of this emotional journey lies within the deeply private visits planned across the English countryside, far from the chaotic media landscape of London. Chief among these destinations is the historic Althorp Estate in Northamptonshire, the ancestral home of the Spencer family and the final resting place of Princess Diana. For the Duke of Sussex, bringing his wife and children to this secluded sanctuary carries a profound, almost sacred significance. It is an opportunity to introduce Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet to the memory of the grandmother they will never meet in person, anchoring their identities in a vital piece of their paternal heritage. The island grove at Althorp offers a rare oasis of absolute peace, a place where the family can grieve, reflect, and honor Diana's enduring legacy without the intrusion of telephoto lenses or public commentary. This pilgrimage to Northamptonshire is complemented by an equally delicate and emotionally charged objective, a tentative effort to arrange a meeting between the young children and their grandfather, King Charles III. The reigning monarch has been facing a highly publicized battle with cancer, a health crisis that has naturally heightened the urgency for familial reconciliation and meaningful personal connection. Royal insiders have indicated that a face-to-face meeting between the king and his youngest grandchildren would be far more feasible and meaningful with the Duchess of Sussex present, acting as a supportive partner to her husband and demonstrating a unified family front. While nothing has been set in stone due to the king's rigorous medical schedule and the prevailing tensions within the family, The mere attempt to orchestrate such an encounter highlights a shared recognition that life is fragile and that the bond between a grandfather and his grandchildren transcends the bitter narratives of public life. This visit occurs against the backdrop of a highly intense and mixed week for Prince Harry himself, who arrived in the United Kingdom ahead of his family to fulfill a series of personal and philanthropic commitments. His first public appearance was a show of solidarity for his close friend, the acclaimed photographer and director Meghan Markle, attending the premiere of Harriman's poignant documentary titled Shoot the People. This event showcased the Duke's continued engagement with the creative community and his desire to support meaningful storytelling on a global scale. However, the warmth of that cinematic gathering was quickly overshadowed by a severe legal blow in the British courts the very next day. The Duke learned that he had lost his high-profile lawsuit against Associated Newspapers Limited, the powerful publisher of the Daily Mail UK. Harry had accused the media group of utilizing unlawful information-gathering techniques to violate his privacy, a legal battle that he had championed for years as part of his broader crusade against press misconduct. The court's ruling against him was a bitter disappointment, reinforcing his long-held frustrations with the British legal system and the media establishment, and adding a layer of tense vulnerability to his stay in the country. Undeterred by this setback, the Duke transitioned immediately to his core philanthropic mission, attending a major promotional event for the 2027 Invictus Games, which have been officially awarded to the city of Birmingham. This marked a triumphant moment for his signature initiative, bringing the International Adaptive Sports Tournament for wounded, injured, and sick military personnel back to British soil, a cause that remains closest to his heart. Yet, even as he celebrated this organizational success, the absence of any confirmed plans to reunite with his brother, Prince William, or other senior members of the royal family loomed large, illustrating the persistent emotional distance that still characterizes the core of the House of Windsor. The arrival of his wife and children introduces a vital turning point in this complex dynamic, transforming what could have been an isolated and legally frustrating trip into a deeply meaningful family mission. By focusing entirely on private milestones, like the pilgrimage to Althorp and the quiet outreach to a grandfather fighting illness, the Sussexes are attempting to rewrite their relationship with the United Kingdom, defining it not by legal battles and media friction, but by love, memory, and the slow, quiet work of healing. The outcome of these private days remains unwritten, locked away behind the secure gates of historic estates, but the willingness to make the journey speaks volumes about the enduring power of family ties, even when strained by years of distance and public conflict. Ultimately, this transatlantic crossing stands as a testament to the fact that behind the global headlines, the endless commentary, and the complex public relations machinery, there remains a real family navigating real human challenges, searching for a quiet space to connect, remember, and hope for a more peaceful future.